all eyes were on Mar-a-Lago resort last night as Prime Minister Justin Trudeau jetted down to Florida to meet with President-elect Donald Trump to discuss Trump's threats of tariffs.
Prime Minister, was it a productive meeting with President-elect?
It was an excellent conversation.
Trudeau says he had an excellent conversation with President-elect Donald Trump. Trudeau had dinner with Trump and a few members of his selected cabinet at Mar-a-Lago last night. The meeting came days after Trump promised massive hikes in tariffs on goods from Canada and Mexico starting on the first day of his administration. However, Trudeau did not say whether the two discussed tariffs. And joining me now is political expert Keith Leslie. And Keith, we just saw that the Prime Minister and President-elect Trump sat down for dinner at Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort last night. What do you make of this?
This is exactly what Justin Trudeau needed to do. He had to show the president-elect, as well as show all of Canada and the premiers, that there's no more important file on his desk right now than this threat of 25% tariffs from Donald Trump. And so he's shown he's going to deal with this. He's showing Donald Trump the urgency of it. And he's also showing Donald Trump a lot of respect, right? Going to Mar-a-Lago, going to Florida to do this, and doing it on no notice, didn't tell the media ahead of time, no cameras coming with him. And really, we've still had no official statement from the Prime Minister other than he just recently posted a picture a couple hours ago of him and Donald Trump at the dinner. Trudeau describes it as an excellent conversation. That's all he's said officially so far. And Trump called it very productive. So overall, looks pretty good at this point.
Now, Trump made his 25% tariff threats on social media on Monday, and Trudeau met with premiers a few days ago. Now, both Trudeau and Trump, as you mentioned, said it was a good meeting. But do you think anything was actually resolved during this dinner?
Oh, I don't think so. Apparently, we're hearing on background briefings that the Trump people, they're willing to work on a lot of issues, especially the border issue and the fentanyl issue, which Trump keeps raising. But apparently, the tariffs, there's going to be some tariffs coming in on January 20th when Trump takes over office, and that they can, eventually work to have them, suspended or lessened or exemptions or whatever we're going to be able to negotiate here. But apparently, there will be some tariffs coming in on January 20th, despite this appeal by Trudeau right directly to Donald Trump.
I sat down with Anita Anand yesterday and asked her about the challenges of dealing with an unpredictable Trump. And she said that Trudeau has experience dealing with him in his previous term as president. Do you think that relationship is beneficial, or does it even matter?
At this point, it probably doesn't matter. This is Trump 2.0. So apparently, remember, he had some bad times with Trudeau at the previous G7, where Trudeau was caught on an open mic criticizing Trump and kind of mocking him. Trump holds a grudge, but apparently he didn't hold one now. He's not holding it now. He's meeting with the Prime Minister, and he's also not, refusing to meet with him, knowing that Trudeau faces an election sometime very soon. So he's treating Trudeau with a bit of respect. So I think it does help that Trudeau has worked around and with the Donald Trump and his previous administration. It can't hurt, certainly, having that experience with Trump 2.0.
If Trump were to impose the tariffs, what do you think Canada's response would or should be?
Unfortunately, it would have to be, a tariff war, and I think we should go, as public as we possibly can. So I'd put a tariff on Teslas, because we know Elon Musk, as Donald Trump's here, perhaps on iPhones and things like this, something that would really, actually hurt American companies trying to sell into Canada by having, the price of these things jump 25%, if we match tariff for tariff. Last time, I think we put, during Trump's first administration, we put a tariff on bourbon. I don't think that was particularly effective. So we're going to have to, if we're going to do something, if we're going to retaliate with a trade war, that's a really disaster route no one wants to go down, but we have to be prepared to do it.
One more thing, Keith. Trump mentioned the Arctic on Truth Social today. What do you think Canada and the U.S. need to discuss about the Arctic?
Well, they've actually made an agreement just recently to build some more icebreakers. We know that the Russians have built a ton of icebreakers, a dozen, or 2 dozen rather, and Canada has like 2 or 3. So Canada, this is another border security issue. It's not just the 49th parallel, right? It's the northern border for Canada as well. And I think, we can work with Trump on that. Icebreakers cost a fortune of the size of the ones that we need for the Arctic. So I think this is actually a really good thing and a positive thing that Canada and the United States can work together on.
All right, Keith Leslie, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
To local news now.